Welcome to the Master Dealmaker's Secrets podcast. And now, here's sales growth strategist, John Blake.
Welcome to Master Dealmaker's Secrets. I'm John Blake. This is episode 36. And today we're going to be talking about one of the single most overlooked things in sales that cause a massive disconnect between the amount of clients that are being converted and the ones that aren't. I'm really excited to share this with you. I see this over and over again, and I don't really see a lot of people talking about it. So really excited to be sharing this with you. But first, if you have got lead flow into your business, if you have got leads coming into your business and you want to convert more of them, head over to johnblakeaudio.com and get your free audio training where I show you the exact strategy that you can use to double the amount of sales that convert from your existing lead inquiry flow. Okay, so this is the same strategy that I teach my year-long clients. It's actually the first thing that I do with them when I first start working with them to give them a really fast ROI on their investment with me. It's the simplest, most low-hanging fruit in your business, and it is really not that difficult to do when you have the right approach. So head over to johnblakeaudio.com, download your audio training. What you'll also get is the PDF companion guide that actually has word for word exactly how to write your emails, exactly what to say in your voicemails, and how frequently to call and email. So it's got a schedule, like an 8-week framework that you can use to get people to confirm their choice to go ahead with you that don't confirm straight off the bat. So head over and do that. I'm sure you'll get a stack of value from using that, and it can become a real staple system that you've got working in your business to really maximize your sales. Okay, so episode 36, what we're going to be talking about today is the single biggest misconception around sales process. So let me give you a bit of background. That the one of the biggest things that I get, one of the biggest requests that I get, probably one of the most common ways that that people request my help, is they tell me that their guys aren't converting. They're not converting enough. They're not closing. They're not closing. And as the word closing has the connotation of something that happens at the end. So everyone's obsessed with what happens at the end of the actual sales conversation. And what they are often not aware of is that the decision to actually work with you or to purchase from you actually happens a lot further upstream in the process than many people are aware of. And it really does boil down to this. A purchase takes place first in the mind of your client only, or your potential client, only when the perceived cost of doing nothing becomes greater than the investment in your product or service. So we can boil this down to as simple as analogy as you sitting on the couch. Okay, so bear with me for a sec, right? So you're sitting on the couch. You could or you might not be hungover. You can choose either one. And you're sitting on the couch watching television. And I'm not talking about getting up off the couch, but my question to you is, at what point do you change positions on that couch, right? So if you're comfortable on the couch, you are not going to change positions on that couch until really one thing happens, and that is you become uncomfortable enough to do so, right? So as human beings, we won't move from where we are until we become uncomfortable enough to do so. So this analogy can be extrapolated out into almost any area of life, right? So and it's most certainly applicable in a sales context. So let me repeat that to you again. A purchase takes place first in the mind of our client only when the perceived cost of doing nothing becomes greater than the investment in your product or service. So let me give you an analogy, right? So let's say that I'm talking to somebody, and I'll just give you an analogy from my own world. Let's say I'm talking to somebody and they tell me that they have got a 1% conversion rate. And I literally had somebody call me the other day, and that is the conversion rate that they've got from the inquiry that they're getting, which is ridiculously low. I mean, that's a really, really low conversion rate. And, if you have a conversion rate that low, you might want to give me a call because I could probably help you with that. So let's just say, you've got a 1% conversion rate and you have an average transaction size of $10,000, right? So for every 100 inquiries that you get, you're converting one of them, $10,000. So if I'm talking to somebody and they have that particular thing going on in their business, what I would do is what we need to do, so how does somebody perceive the cost of doing nothing as greater than the investment in your product or service? Well, I could have a 1% conversion rate in my business and I could be totally used to that. So the only time I'm actually going to do something about that is where I become uncomfortable enough with that conversion rate to actually do something about it. So what would that sound like in a conversation? So if I was talking to someone, they told me they had 1% conversion rate, I would say, okay, so, how long has it been like that? And they might say, oh, it's been 6 months. And I go, and so, how much are you spending on advertising? And they might say, well, we're spending, $10,000 a month. And I go, okay, so you're spending $10,000 a month, and for every 100 inquiries, you're making $10,000 in sales. The person says, yes. I go, okay, so, how's that impacting things? Well, we're not really making any money. Okay. And how long have you felt like that? The last 6 months. So with every question that I ask, so a question like, tell me more about that. How long has it been like that? How's that impacting things? It's like anything. If you have a problem in your life and you think about it a lot and you focus on it, it gets bigger. And so in a sales conversation, the more that we create an environment where the person can examine the problem that they've got, the more that problem gets bigger. And the bigger that problem gets, the smaller your investment in your product or service becomes, to a point where no becomes no longer an option. Doing nothing becomes no longer an option. So often we talk about, ROI, what is the return on investment? But often we need to look at COI. So what is the cost of inaction? Because in many cases, that is what is going to get people across the line. So there are some people that are probably listening to this and going, well, what if I can't easily measure? What if I haven't got a percentage or an index, to actually measure the thing that is costly? Well, there are also, so something that you can measure is a quantitative measure, and that's easy if you've got a percentage conversion rate that you're looking to improve or you're looking to get a better return on the amount that you're spending on advertising. That's pretty easy. But the other part of it is there can also be qualitative things, right? Things that you can't measure, but they can be as, if not more powerful. They can be as, if not more important, right? So a qualitative measure could be, I can't sleep at night. I'm stressed. I'm working 80 hours a week. I'm not getting to spend any time with my kids. It's causing friction between myself and my business partner. Those things can be absolutely as, if not more powerful than the actual, the actual monetary or measurable things. So absolutely you need language to confirm somebody's choice to go ahead at the end of a conversation. But I think people are too fixated on it. And I think that if you get this bit right, the exploring and creating an environment where the person can uncover the cost of doing nothing, that is a much more powerful place to examine your sales process, to look at how you can increase the likelihood of somebody coming on board. So, I wish you all the best with implementing this. And if you can get it right, I think it will make a massive difference. Okay, so look forward to hearing some feedback on how that worked. And thank you so much for listening. And I will talk to you on the next podcast.
You've been listening to Master Dealmaker's Secrets with John Blake. Subscribe to get more in-depth strategies to maximize your sales process with new episodes every week. and double your inquiry to sale conversion with the lead flow you already have. Go to johnblakeaudio.com for his exclusive free no fluff audio training and companion PDF guide.